Hello there, I'm the Thirsty Bookworm, and today I'm going to give you another review no one is asking for on Jura 10. This is the Whiskey Talkin. Jura single malt whiskey is made in Scotland, specifically the island of, you guessed it, Jura. The island is home to about 11 and a half people, and it rains about every day, so basically necessary to sustain life there. The distillery was established in 1810, and according to the website, reborn in 1963. I can only imagine that means that the entire island was dunked underwater by a giant man who said the correct weird words while wearing a robe. Jura currently produces Jura 10, the bottle I'm currently talking about, pay attention, 7 wood, 18-year Journey, and the impressive 21-year-old Tide. The 10 is bottled at the lame ABV of 40%, which computes to 80 proof. The mash bill is 100% malted barley, so if you're looking to impress Landon and Chip, this might do it. Yes, it's a 10-year-old single malt. Oh yes, it's 100% malted barley. The website leads me to believe about a quarter of that malt is peated, which shows great restraint considering they are living on a veritable aircraft carrier of the stuff. The whiskey is barreled in both used bourbon barrels and aged Olorosa sherry butts, and then blended together like the cast of any modern sitcom. Bottle design is pretty rad. Its unique shape was created in order to survive the Corrie Vrecken near the island. They call it a dangerous whirlpool, but I'm inclined to believe it's Charybdis from the Odyssey who found better real estate later in life. I mean, I'd rather consume boatloads of whiskey over boatloads of semen any day. The color of this stuff is beautiful. It's the same color as those dogs that I see on walks that I really want to pet and our eyes meet, and I know they want me to pet them too, but I'm too awkward to ask the owner if I can pet them and tell them how good of dogs they are, so we just pass by one another, and they can feel the pressure of the leash restraining them like I can feel the pressure of my social anxiety restraining me. So it's like a reddish copper, I guess. The legs are pretty intense on this stuff. I'm going to give them Mel Gibson as William Wallace in the great movie, but poor representation of history, Braveheart. The nose. So I always smell and assess before I check what the company says is going on in there. I'm not getting the fruit, cracked pepper, and dark chocolate they suggest. I get bacon, raw smoked maple bacon to be exact, and that's all I got for a very long time. About 3/4 of the way through Avengers Age of Ultron, I started to smell Boston baked beans, the candy, not the dish. My wife was a lot closer to the mark with her assessment. Fruit, maybe pear, brown sugar, smoke, and diesel fuel. She did say she found this whiskey less offensive than any other I've presented her, but she still passed on taking a sip. The taste. Nectarines, ginger, and freshly ground coffee. Well, that's what they said at least. Again, I got bacon. It tasted exactly like the smell of raw bacon, minus the saltiness you would expect, at least for the first half of the glass. Eventually, I moved past that and got a sweet leather and fresh turned soil thing going on. And yes, I do mean soil and not dirt. I've been lectured by some of the best minds rural America's FFA can produce. I also want to recognize how alcohol forward it is, which is not at all. If you are sensitive to the taste of alcohol, this might be a good option for you. Jura 10 checks out at 45 bucks in my neck of the woods, which is about 38 euros. I probably wouldn't pay that for this again. It isn't bad, but I don't find it particularly good either. It's okay. That's why I'm rating it half of the book Burning Down George Orwell's House, a book that did a much better job of selling Jura whiskey to me than it did of making me feel any excitement for what might happen next. But, according to the book, the master distiller at Jura thinks he's a werewolf. I'm just going to assume that's true. Anyways, this won't be going into my infinity bottle because I'm worried it's going to ruin everything. So, I'm the Thirsty Bookworm, and this has been the Whiskey Talkin'.